sad situation, you know what I mean? Because before these people are rappers, they are people with families and people who love them, and they black men. You feel me? So it hurts that another brother is gone. You know what I mean? Over something that really, like we all know, could have been avoided.
Right. And I know, it's a shame that hip hop gets saddled with this reputation for being violent music, and people, they think they have a like a preconceived notion that rappers are like out of control animals. And I don't think they really, so that robs the music of being given credit for its proper creativity and its proper cultural impact. So, and we got here in the Midwest, we got Chicago, so we were familiar with drill rap and stuff like that. And the brother Young Dolph killed in Memphis. I mean, it's crazy that rappers. I mean, you mentioned Tupac, which we'll get into, but when Pac died, it was a unique thing. Rappers weren't getting killed like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So now
yeah.
it's nothing to hear that a rapper's getting murdered, right? Like, so it's like every other day. So it's crazy.
We
And go ahead,
now.
brother.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but it seemed like we a little numb to it now because it happens so much. But we can't be numb to it because you know what I mean. They are from our community. They are our younger brothers. You know what I mean. Some of them are young enough to you know what I mean be my son or my little brother or whatever. You feel me? It's sad, but hip hop is the music of the community of poor communities, and that's where we come from. We come from those communities, and just like the music reflects, you know what I mean, what's going on in the communities. You know what I mean? Us dying reflects the same thing because it's like just because we rap. We have eyes on us. So when we die, we get noticed. But in our communities, it's young brothers, you know what I mean, that be nameless or not famous, and they dying every day. So we just, are the deaths in the hip hop community just reflect the deaths of that's going on in the black community. You feel me? So
Yep.
it's one and the same, and it's just it is it's a sign of a bigger problem. It's a sign of a problem about how we don't see value in ourselves, and that how we look at ourselves through the eyes of the oppressor. So it's easier for us to what I mean be on some what I mean excuse my language, on some fuck that nigga over there.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We
Yeah.
don't
You. Yeah.
as a brother, and we don't peep game that what I mean by hurting him or by killing him, we are killing ourselves. You feel me? Because those brothers that I named that died, those brothers were making money for people and taking care of families. You know what I mean? And even if that brother wasn't from your side, in a way, he could have helped you because him being owned in your city brings light to your. You feel me?
Yep.
Creates jobs,
Yep.
babies. So when we do that to each other, you know what I mean, we are doing that to us, man. And in our community, the young brothers is getting killed, man. We could be killing somebody who could save us later. Somebody who might cure cancer. Somebody who might, you know what I mean, cure AIDS. Somebody who might, man, make a way for us, and we might be helped. It might not help me, but it might help my cousin or my
Right.
brother. You know what I mean? So we got
Right.
to really look at what we doing, and and see the bigger picture. That just because you know, because they live somewhere else or they on this side, that they're not the opposition. You know what I mean? We got a bigger opposition. You feel me?
Right.
That's when we hurt each other. You feel me?
That's right. We're gonna have this conversation about hip hop tonight. Like I said, I'm known as a lot of things, but I'm the hip hop snob. I've been a hip hop fan my entire life. I guess the young people call me an old head. It is what it is. But okay, so let's get into Mac Mall, okay? And we'll
Yes.
we'll revisit that as we go along. But I think us being from Milwaukee, which is a small town, small city in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I don't know if I mean in Wisconsin. I don't know if you've ever been here, but you're
Oh
from
yeah.
Vallejo, California, right?
I'm from the crest side of Vallejo, California, the same hood as the Mac Dre, Coolio the Underdog, you know what I mean? Just Jay Diggs, Doobie the Underdog. We are all from the Country Club Crest. We all grew up together. I come from a very powerful community. You know what I mean? If you wanna mention the Romper Room Gang, Mac Dre crew, you know what I mean? Some of the most notorious bank robbers in the United States. Not only that, but just the things that we have brought to Bay Area hip hop and hip hop in general was remarkable. We have some of the dopest rappers, some of the most creative people. We have athletes like CC Sabathian is from the Crest. You know what I mean? My young dog from Denver. I'm tripping right now, but I know it'll come to me. Yeah, but it's a very close knit community. You know what I mean? Like all the black communities. There's a lot of love there. You know what I mean? But it's also notorious too. So yeah, I'm from there.
So, and like I say, I mean, small town, but some big city action, right? And hip hop. When we think about hip hop, especially in California, we think about California. Now, I became very familiar with the Bay and the Bay Area sound a long time ago, right? Like, so I got on it early, just because we was just hip hop heads, and I was one of them kids who was on the source real hard, and so my partners, I'll never forget, they gave me, well, they brought the Click. They brought the Clicks album, right?
Shout out E40. E40
Yes,
is I'm from the Crest. E40 from the hillside. E40 is my
exactly.
actual blood relative. E40 D Shot, Sugar T, and Muggsy. They are actually my blood cousins. We our families came from the South, Louisiana together, and we just moved to different sides of Vallejo. But that's my real blood cousin, and he's from Vallejo. I'm just from the Crest. That's why I mentioned it like that.
Right.
But from Vallejo, where the Click for E40, where Selly Sale, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Bruce, all these people are from. Little Bruce is my actual blood cousin too. Shout out Little Bruce. But
Okay.
you different sides. But yeah, E40 and the Click, man, definitely led the way.
And so for us up here is like north side, east side, right? Like, so, I'm from the north side. Some of my brothers are from the east side, and we got the south side was primarily essays. But I get it that it's different, the different neighborhoods. I'm from Capitol Drive. Kamar. You from Trey Nine? Where you from?
Nah, man. I'm
Wait.
from Milwaukee.
Okay, well, if that's the
I
way you
did.
identify, he get you know what I'm saying though, Kamar. You know what I'm saying. How we
Hey,
identify
hey,
with your
I
turf.
don't bang. I rock the good rhyme.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay Capital forever. I'm gonna say Capital Drive in Atkinson. You can rock all the good rhymes you want, but no, I'm I'm saying my partners brought me E40. They brought me the Click, and at first I didn't. I was kind of like, eh. But as I started listening to E40 and I started listening to the Click, I really got into it. So it led me to Selly Cell. It led me to D Shot. It led me to Be Legit. It led me to you. Okay, so your first album. I want to talk about how you got started. What got you into the game in Vallejo?
I have been rapping ever since like I'm like 8 years old. You know what I mean? I used to have I talk about this in my book, my opinion. I used to have a real bad stuttering problem. So the only time I didn't stutter is when I cussed and I rapped. So I was known as that little dude neighborhood that older dudes would tell me to come here, like come here, little dude, come bust a rap, and I do that. And I love I fell in love with hip hop, at an early age. You know what I mean? My mother got me my first tapes, my first little boom box with my tapes, and it was Houdini and the Fat Boys. You know what I mean? And I remember, like, when I heard the message, falling in love with that, just the way that he was spitting game. So I always, gravitated to hip hop and breakdancing and, you know what I mean, all the stuff that you have in the community. But, even though I was into hip hop,
Did he freeze? I think he froze.
Yeah,
If
I
you
think.
if you're tuning in, it's Outlaw Radio. It's live from the basement. We got Mac Mall. His signal's freezing up a little bit. I'm sure he'll chime back in. The number is 262-202-5131. 262-202-5131. We'll see if we can get this brother's signal straight. So
Hey,
Kamar,
man, this is another example of what I'm saying about the era that we come from. You
okay,
know what I mean? Like the people that all the brothers that was out there, you know what I mean, living the life, you know what I'm saying, back then. You see these brothers now, man. Most of us now are talking a whole different story now. You know what I'm saying? We trying to teach a whole nother message at this point. You know what
okay,
I mean? And we see the rappers from back then. Most of the rappers that come on the show, they kicking the same thing. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So like for a lot of people to say, well, y'all was doing this back in y'all time, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's cool. But now we at a point now where it's like we teaching different now though,
right,
because we lived through that.
right.
You know what I mean? So now we need the youth to listen to the message that we pushing now because we know better.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the difference. What I think that with from the brothers that rap years ago versus the ones that rap now. Like the years ago, you know what I'm saying? We still had substance. You know what I mean? It was stuff that we listened to the OGs, and you know what I mean. We was groomed and all that. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that's what I like. And this show right here, you know what I mean, with the brother Mac Mar, you know what I mean? It's just proving that right there on and on. You know what I'm saying? With the different people
Right.
we have on the show.
Now we got this brother back. I don't know. I think his signal dropped. But you was talking about your influence and what got you in the game, my brother.
So, like I say, being young, loving hip hop, you know what I mean. Rapping in my neighborhood, but then it became time in the early, the late '80s. You know what I mean. We had Too Short. You feel me coming out on 75 Girls, showing us that it can be done independently. And then, of course, we had the Mac, my namesake. He dropped the Game is Thick, and we had on the E40 and them dropping. They made the Click. They start dropping, Mr. Flamboyant and stuff. And when the Mac had made the Game is Thick, the Mac is from my community, and he was young at the time, and I saw that my dream can actually become reality. So at the tender age of 11, 12, 13, I'm seeing these dudes make these records and become stars. Mac Dre came to my community. You know what I mean? When Mac Dre come, I'm about like 11 or something. I'm seeing him because I had heard his voice before I actually saw him. So when I seen him, I'm like, man, and I watched him basically, go from running with my cousins and making the romper room, which later will become the infamous romper room gang. They was just, cats from my community. But then I saw Dre bring it up from the ground, and that's what really let me know that it was on. You know what I mean? So as my cousins E40 and them is doing it in the hillside and in Millersville in the Crest, we doing our thing. And I actually was supposed to be signed to Romp Records, you know what I mean, which was Mac Dre's label. But at the time, Mac Dre, I believe, got set up by the feds and got hit with a fake charge. You know what I mean? A conspiracy charge. And
Mm-hmm.
at early age, I saw how the conspiracy can be used to man take innocent people down. He goes to the feds to Lompoc, MJ Diggs, and Kilo Kurt, and he gave Kyrie a producer and a record label owner. He gave him the permission to put me out. So at the age of 15, Kyrie came to me and we made what some consider a classic, a legal business. You know what I mean, straight up. And it was on ever since then. I was in the end of my 10th grade year, going to the 11th grade when my record came out, and I've been doing it professionally ever since then.
Okay, so let's go to that record because is Sick with This on that record?
Stick with this is on that record.
Sick with This. Okay, so Sick with This is the one that I used to go to my local record store, and whatever was coming, it was two regions. Whatever was coming from the west and whatever was coming from the south, I bought, right? So if it had Rap a Lot on it, or if it was from the west coast, I was gonna buy it. So I remember I had your first album, and once I heard Sick with This, I was in. I was in. I said, "Oh man, this dude is," and I didn't even, but it was that sound, and it was, whereas the East Coast and a lot of other regions were leaning on samples. I noticed that the West Coast was into playing the music. It was, and we're gonna talk about some of them great producers, but the brother Kyrie and yourself, it was there. This was instrumentation. It wasn't samples. It was fresh. It was creative, and I was just like, man, this dude, and I let my partners hear, and they say, "Well, who is this dude?" I say, "Well, he's from Vallejo." Oh, E40. So everybody made the connection, and it went from there. But so you got your start somehow, some way. You cross paths with Tupac. Let's talk about your acquaintance with Tupac Shakur.
Well, honestly, it happened one day at a E40 video. I got to give props to my girl cousin Shonda. Her and and my cousin, our cousin Sugar T, were very close. If you listen to the E40 song "Sideways," he say, "Baby got her hair done by Shonda." Well, that's my cousin, and she used to run with Sugar T. She used to do her hair and stuff, but Shonda from the Crest. So one day, you know, um, she asked me, you know what I mean? I had just gotten the game, the record was out, making his rounds and stuff like this. No, I'm still young though. So she called me and she like, why don't you come hang out, at our cousin video? I really didn't, really spend too much time around them because like I say, we from different sides. But
Right.
I said okay. And I go to the video, practice looking hard. We in like Berkeley or something. I remember, seeing Boots from the Coop, you know what I mean, who's a famous director right now, came up with some of the dopest movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody at the video, but I'm not really, you know what I mean. I'm not the person that I am now. I'm an up and coming rapper, so I'm kind of just really playing the back and just peeping everything. And I see a limo pull up, and I see Tupac hop out, the limo. He's with Man and Mike Cooley. He's with Stretch, rest in peace Stretch. He's with he's with Big Psych, rest in peace Psych, and Country, and I see him, you know what I mean. But just like cats in Milwaukee, man, and cats in the Bay, man, we up on game, man. You know what I mean. And the way that we make our first impression, that means a lot because it's like if you make up, the first impression with me and you corny, for the rest of our relationship, you're going to be corny.
Right.
If
Right.
Right.
you make it in the cool, you're going to be cool. You know what I mean. I peeped that. I'm from reading Donald Goines books back when I was 10 years old. The way you cut into a person is very important.
Right.
So I'm chilling, kicking back, and just waiting for my time to really holler at him. And I waited till everybody, made their pleasantries and hollered and stuff. And then I introduced myself and I started running my pedigree. You know what I mean? I don't expect him to know me, but I'm going to get him to know me. I'm telling you, hey, man, how you doing, brother? My name is Mac Marv. I'm from the Crest where Mac Dre from, and I just came out with the record Illegal Business. Now, to be truthful, I have seen Tupac before. You know what I mean? I seen him when he used to run heavy with the jungle. When he was young, when he was feisty. This wasn't a Tupac who was becoming the biggest rapper in the world that I
Right.
was
Right.
when I met him then. I didn't meet him, I just saw him. Because Mac Dre used to do shows in the Bay and he used to do shows in the jungle and with other Bay Area artists. They had a group named 5150 that was a gangster rap group, and Pac was running with them and the Marin dude. So we was basically, I was with the Crest dude. I'm a little kid, but I'm running with the with the crew or whatever. I'm running with the Crest. I'm running with the Cuddies. So we all together, and I'm seeing, you know what I mean. It's gonna get feisty, and I'm seeing Tupac is with it, and I'm looking. I'm like, man, that's dude from who rapped with Digital Underground. You know what I mean? But at that time, he was just another soldier in the mix, like I was. You know what I mean? But he was somebody. So later in life, now I seen he Tupac, and I'm introducing myself, man, I'm Mac Mall, blah blah blah, and I say, yeah, man, I got a record out called Illegal Business, and in the way I described in my book, opinion, the only way that only Tupac can be, he got super excited and was like, man, you Mac Mall, man, I'm listening to your record in the car right now, man. He started naming my songs, and then I tell him that I'm managed by Layla Steinberg, and he gets even hyper because Layla was his original manager. She was the one who took him from Strictly Dope and brought him over to Digital Underground. You know what I mean? So we had connections, and at that video, he looked at me and he told me like he was excited to meet me. He thought I was dope, and he told me, brother, I wanna do something with you. Now at that time, you know what I mean, I was new to the industry, but I have heard the hey man, let's do lunch. You know what I mean? And just the Hollywood way of
Right.
getting, you know what I mean, just just kind of shooing you away. So when he told me that, I honestly believed it was one of those situations, but it wasn't because a week later he was at the offices of Young Black Brother Records talking about how we can do something. And we from that day on we became, he put me up under his wing, man, and he directed my first video, Ghetto Theme. You know what I mean? He
Yes.
did it free. He took me to the Soul Train Awards when I was a little kid, man, and just became put me up under his wing, man, and gave me many life lessons and much advice, and looked out to me to this day. His mother, Afeni Shakur, you know what I mean, she made me like one of her sons, and the whole Secure family, we've been super tight ever since, and I honor those people by you know what I mean, by continuing to, you know what I mean, keep it black and strong and stay in this business, man, and you know, let them know. But from you know, we became close, man, and dude became my big brother, and I miss him to this day, man, for real.
So you were talking about the jungle. A lot of people don't know that's Marin City, correct? In the Bay. Okay. So a lot of people don't know. So I want to
Oh
clear
my,
that up. No, it's all good. It's all good. I just want people to be able to follow because I mean, I'm a hip hop head, so I know all this stuff, and they don't. A lot of people don't know. So so yeah, man. So okay, so you go to the Soul Train Awards with Tupac, which is crazy in itself, right? Like, as a little kid, did you kick it with him? Did he drop you off and say, "Okay, now look, you time for you to go home," no, or did you roll with him?
I roll with him. One thing that I learned later that if there was one word that I had to say about Tupac to describe him, you know what I mean. This is a word that people don't really associate with him, but I associate with him. He was loving, man. You feel me? He
Okay.
loved. He was a revolutionary, and I think it was either Che or Malcolm talk about how you know what I mean. I think it's Che. The revolutionary is driven by love, the love for his people. You know what I
Mhm.
mean, the love for his community and stuff like that. And those that was the thing that Tupac was, man. He knew that I was a dusty little dude from the ghetto, just like he was. You know what I mean. So he wanted to show me that the dream that I was chasing was a reality. So he took me with him. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when Soul Train Awards, I'm in high school. You know what I mean? I had to leave school early to fly into LA to hook up with them. We met up in front of Popeye's Chicken, and you know he there with the whole crew. I'm there with Layla and Ray Love, and it was the first time that him and Ray Love had seen each other since being in the group Strictly Dope. First time him and Layla had seen each other in a long time, so they made their connection, and I would never forget this, man. This story right here. I talk about this in my book too. This dude had 5 silver tickets and 2 gold tickets when we met him. Now, I was just when I hooked up with him, I'm complaining about a haircut. You know, I wanted to go get clothes, whatever. He like, man, we don't got time for this. Take my hat. He took the hat off his head. I still got the hat to this day. Put it on my head. Um, said, so he started handing out the tickets. Now, at the time when I'm seeing the tickets, I'm peeping. I'm just want to get a silver ticket so I know I'll be in there. So he passed out all the silver tickets, and I'm getting kind of anxious, like, man, I don't got a ticket. When he passed the tickets out, then the 2 gold ones, he took one of the gold ones and he handed it to me, meaning that I would be sitting with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
We go to the place where they were having the Soul Train Awards, and you know, I'm excited because actually, when Tupac had asked my mother if I could go to the Soul Train Awards, he called house because no, I'm a minor.
Right.
He my mother and asked her if I can go. And my mother now, the only thing that she ever saw of Tupac was him spitting at the camera. So she now wants her 15-year-old, her 16-year-old, you know, son who was already messing up in school, who was already in the streets. She didn't want him to be running with the cat who, flipping off the camera and shit and getting shot and shooting people. So when he first asked her, she had told him no. You know what I mean? And like blew my mind. But I was able to get my act together and actually make it. So when he gave me the ticket, we walking in the venue, and I'm just seeing everybody, all the stars, just look at him and tell him, man, Tupac, keep your head up. Tupac, keep your head up. We walk into the thing and we go to our seats, and as we pulling up, it's like, man, there go Jamie Foxx, you know what I mean? There go Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. There go Madonna in the back of us who trying to get Tupac attention, like she jocking him, like Pac, 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 and he like, man, ignoring her, and had me front row and center to experience hit me like that. We after the party, we go to the Death Row party before he was on Death Row. TLC there, all the stars was there. Mary J. Blige, and when Tupac walked in the room, a lot of people have saw this. He was like, "Fuck MTV, fuck MTV," right? And this is out. I was actually there, but one thing I peeped about media is that when I was with him is that when he said, being wild, fuck MTV, all them cameras came right to him. So now he walking in. It wasn't your interview no more. Now it's a Tupac show, and they put the cameras right on him, and it was like he knew how to control media back in the day. But it was
Yeah.
from, that was just me. That was just one of many times that he would have me with him, and we would like just man. He would be showing me the game. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Showing me to not have ego because how I'm with the biggest rapper in the world. Ladies love him, or just people love him from 8 to 80, and I'm just soaking it in and peeping how he maneuver and everything. But to answer your story, it used to be like this. Every time we kick it, we would split up, and like he would always leave, man, with the baddest chick. And at the end of the night, he'd be telling one of the outlaws, I mean not the outlaws, excuse me, one of Thug Life, take Mac Mall to, home, take him to the room or whatever, and make sure that he don't go inside my weed. Don't let him in my weed because at the time, Country, was the big brother, but he also was a tree man. And me, you know what I mean? Like they got zips of the good weed, but I'll be like, hey man, let me get $40 worth of weed. So sometimes they'd go in the ounces and take the $40 worth of weed out and give it to me, and he'd always like be mad about that. Don't do that. Give him his own stack or whatever. But yeah, man, that was a beautiful night, and I had many beautiful nights with him like that, man. Going to the Century Club with this dude, and this dude not even having a shirt on. Dr. Dre talk about I'm going to the Century Club with my jeans on and my
Right.
team on. I done been with Tupac where he didn't have a shirt on, and they played California Love for an hour back to back, and nobody got off the dance floor. You feel me? I got a lot of experience, man. He definitely took it upon himself to, you know what I mean, to try to show the young people, you know what I mean. At the same time, he messing with me. That's when he started putting together the Outlaws, you know what I mean, because he saw the youth, you know what I mean, and because I learned later in life because of his interactions with me, the way he started to bring outlaws along the way changed because he was like, man, I gotta this somebody's son. I gotta have a place that's around me that the young can thrive, and a lot of that was due because of the dealings between me and him. I mean, me
Okay.
being young at the time.
And so you got okay. So you have affiliations with some of the most legendary MCs, especially West Coast wise. You just said E40 is your cousin, Mac Dre, who's right now he should be on the West Coast Mount Rushmore just because of his impact.
Hey,
Um,
Mac the Bay for real.
yeah, yeah. So, but now another pivotal moment for me is I become an E40 fan. I get Selly Sale. I get and Be Legit. I still rock with Be Legit. As a matter of fact, one of the first, it's probably the second concert I ever been to. Was at a club we had here called the Matrix. It was Too Short, E40, and the Click. And I never forget, me and my partner showed up. He said doors open at 8. We thinking, okay, we don't want to miss none of the show. So we showed up at 8, right? These dudes ain't coming out until 12. By the time E40 and the Click and Too Short hit the stage, we gone off the hand, we gone off the tree. I'm in the front row singing every Click song word for word. I know they
Mhm.
looking like, who is this dude? But okay, that's a sidebar story. But so I become this E40 fan. Selly Sale I was really Selly Sale to me was raw business. But E40's second, was it second or third in a major way? Um,
I think it was a click. It came out with Left Side, Mr. Flamboyant, Federal, and then the
Federal's
Major
an
Way.
EP, right?
Yeah, Major Way
Yeah.
was the record that got to deal with Jive. You feel me?
Okay.
So that big record, that was the first major label record. So yeah.
So you're on one of the biggest songs on there, Dusted and Disgusted. Okay. And which was one of my favorite songs, is because it's Tupac. It's E40, it's you, Spice on there too, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Spice
Yeah.
One, who I'm trying to get on the show. I'm trying to get Spice. I'm starting to learn how to navigate. I'm trying to get you brothers on here, but I'm trying to get Spice. But so this song is huge. First of all, this album is huge. At this time, the West Coast, the Bay Area movement is huge. And you're
Yeah.
on Dusted and Disgusted. But I had seen somewhere that you got in a little hot water because you were on Dusted and Disgusted.
Yeah. You know, I, like I was on Dustin and Disgusted only because of Tupac. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And it was basically one of those things where when Tupac was alive, man, whenever Tupac called you, you dropped whatever that you was doing and you came to where he was at because it was just, you knew that it was going to be, it was going to be where it was at. All the, all the good tree, all the good fly women, all the industry stuff
Yeah.
was going to be where he was. So it was one of those big brother, little brother things. When he called, you drop everything you doing. I happened to be in LA on a promotion run, so I'm out there handling business, and I hear that E40 Mike Mosley got a studio, E40 Richie Rich, Spice, and Pacman was there. Pac tell me, man, come down here, man, we getting down. So I put my day on hold and I go to the studio. You know what I mean? So when I get there, I actually have Young Lay with me. Because we on a promotion run. So it's me and Young Lay. We go to the studio. We see all the players. I knew Spice One since I'm like 12 years old. You know what I mean? Um, because he tight with Jay Diggs. So um, I come to the studio. Of course, E40 is my cousin. I'm just basically coming to hang out. That's all I was on. You know what I mean? Was on some hangout stuff. But so when I get there, you know what I mean? Like, man, out of the blue, Tupac says, "Hey, why don't you, Mac Mall, why don't you take these 8 bars that I got so you get on the song?" Now, he was just being nice, but there was political stuff behind that because me, even though 40 is my cousin, he's my cousin, but our sides don't get along. You know what I mean? I'm in it. His people, not the family, but his people from his neighborhood is my enemies, and he's people from my neighborhood is his enemies.
Right.
So, uh, even though me and him cordial, that's my big cousin, like straight up and down. So it was one of them. It was one of them things where I had to make a decision. You know what I mean? Like what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? But after I'm definitely a Cuddy. You know what I mean? But I'm also an MC. You feel me? And this was the biggest
Right.
rapper at the time. Giving his bars up so you can get some shine. So at the time I had to make a decision, and I feel that I made the right decision. You know what I mean?
You
To get on.
did. You definitely did.
One of them things at the time where I had to do some growing up. You feel me? I had to really think about as a young man, what am I in this for, man? Am I in this? You know what I mean? Just to say I'm in it, or am I going to step up and be great when it's time to be great? You know what I mean? That's what separate people. You know what I mean? What they do when it's time to get down. You know what I mean? We all talk about whatever, but what it is. I could have not been on the song, and I could not be in history too. You know what I mean? So as a young man, I mean, I had to make a decision, just like many of young people, in our communities have to make decisions what we gonna be. You know what I mean? Am I gonna step back from the street stuff and I'm gonna take care of my kid, or am I gonna just be with the street stuff forever and not care and just be another
Right.
feel me? At the time, I feel I made a mature decision. And I decided to get on the song, and I decided to be head up and chin out on whatever came with that. And when we made the song, it did what it did, and it was famous and a major song. But in my community, people was mad. But I had to stand by my decision, and I had to let them know, like, man, I wasn't saying no to that. Like, I was gonna get down. You feel
Right.
me? Kid, and it's I mean it's a classic. People love it. You know what I mean? But it was very touchy because if you listen to E40 rapping on the record, you know what I mean. He said some stuff that could be
Right.
directed at. You know what I mean? And Cats was mad, man. But it was like, the people who loved me from our community, they understand that what I was doing. They understand that I was trying to elevate. They
Right.
understand that do my thing amongst the greats. You know what I mean? These all are legendary men. These all are people who are legends to this day. And as me as a kid, I thought I was good. So I had to put myself with the legends to see if I can stand up. And I did. You know what I mean? So it was like for me, it was the greater good. You know what I mean? It was the greater good for my career, for my family, and everything. And it was like, it stood the test of time because to this day, those people who are mad, you know what I mean, they listen to the song and they love it to the right now, and they sing along when my rap. And if I'd have listened to them, I would have never been on that song. So you
Well, I
know,
tell you what, that's a classic verse, and that song ain't the same if you don't come on. Your verse was dope as hell, and I know people like you were saying, people could be mad, but let one cat from that era when that song comes on right now, your head go to Bob, and you say, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah." So yeah, hey, I'm glad you made that decision.
yeah,
So and that once again, I want to talk about that sound, that Mike Mosley. See, we talk about hip hop on a sonic level on our show. So we talk about producers, and I talk about Mike Mosley and Sam Bostic and Studio Tone. And I still, it's just like I had OG Big Mike on here, and I was talking about N.O. Joe and John Beto and these producers. Um, man, that sound, that Bay Area sound that they had going from SIBO to well, even though I know Banks was Spice was, a lot of Spice One was Banks, but
founding father, Kyrie. You know what I
right.
mean? Mike Mosley, Sam Bostic. You feel me? There's a lot of producers from out here. But one thing that I would say is, okay, first of all, you know what I mean. It starts with the South and the Great Migration and us coming from a lot of us being from Louisiana and
Mississippi.
Texas, stuff like that, Mississippi, and we came to the Bay Area. Our ancestors came out here for the shipping jobs and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's where we came. So you have a lot of Louisiana, Mississippi cats and stuff, and we came from the church. You feel me? We all came from the church. All of us, you know what I mean, had to go through the church and just soul music. And from soul music, man, we from the Bay, man, so we funky. You
Right.
feel me? We funky, man. We all about that funk, man. We all about that Parliament. We all about that James Brown. We all about that real black music, the black experience.
Hmm.
So um, for us, you know what I mean, the music reflected of from the sounds that we heard growing up and the stuff that was played from our parents and stuff like that growing up. And we just reflected that. When we wanted to rap, we grabbed, those sounds and those vibes from the music that we had growing up. And it's funky. You feel me? It's
And
funky. Yeah.
And I wanted to add something else too, because when it comes to the Bay Area, when we talk about black nationalism and we talk about the movement with Oakland and Huey P. Newton and the Panthers and a lot of forward black thinking outside the box and getting away from this yes sir no sir. And I don't want to criticize civil rights Negroes too much, but it was a different kind of thought from Huey and the Panthers saying, nah, we're gonna do for self and we're gonna protect ourselves. And I feel like the independent hustle from the Bay kind of reflected that train of thought where you know what, we're gonna do this, we're gonna have our own style, we're gonna have our own instrumentation, we're gonna record it ourselves. All you got to do is give us distribution so somebody in Milwaukee like myself can hear it.
I mean, with that, it was just necessity. You feel
Okay.
me? We're not gonna wait on nobody. You know what I mean? That was the main thing. And just like you said, from you know what I mean, just the do for self. The do for self. You know what I mean? The way of thinking is that we got to do it for ourselves. We didn't have an industry out here. We didn't walk into a major record label. You know what I mean? And try to get a deal. Of course, we would want to do that, but we didn't have the industry out here. So we made our own industry and we
Yeah.
found distribution and we got down. Shout out to my cousin St. Charles. You feel me? St. Charles is E40's uncle, you know what I mean? But he gave a lot of the independent game to not only E40 but to Kyrie. And and we saw 75 Girls, Too Short first label. And it was really out of necessity that we got behind our own independence, and it became a thing where these brothers became millionaires. You know what I mean? And started and have companies that thrive to this day because of that. But it was all out of necessity because we didn't have what they had in LA. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Mhm.
But it was by that necessity that brought the world to us. You feel me?
Right.
Real big. But it all come from like you said, from that from that black power, that real black power. You know what I mean?
And so now you got this momentum built up. You now you got a name. And at this time, and I remember this, and I know people like Kev, damn, but this was like the soundtrack to my teenage years. Like, so we're talking about me going from early high school to college, basically.
All
So
right.
it's exploding. It's the Loonies, it's short, it's Rap and Ron, it's Bad Influence and Diddley Dog, it's the Dangerous Crew. And that's not to get away from LA with Quick, and I'm a tremendous fan of Quick and the people. And we had Player Ham on here,
Yeah,
who's from PPC. So, so you got this momentum, and then you come with the second album. Well, I
yeah,
guess it was the second album, okay. And
uh,
on this album is Get Right,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Get
yeah.
Right is my favorite Mac Mall song with Lavity. Let's talk about Get Right.
Out to my cousin Lavity. You know, he's my cousin. You know, I loved everything he did, you know what I mean, to make the click, you know what I mean, and to help E40 with his legacy, you know what I mean. Vidi's voice is so, you know what I mean, just a part of that. And you know, at this
Definitely.
time, me and Layla had you know, got our deal with Relativity Records, you know what I mean, and that deal changed my life, you feel me? And I wanted to make to me the ultimate record, you feel me? And I got with Mike Mosley and a young Rick Rock, you feel me? And and we made the record. And and from that day, from as we making the record, I'm saying, hey, I want to get my cousin a video because I want to get some of that time, that sound, some of that stuff he did on Tired of Being Stepped On, and you know what I mean, just all in one. So you know, we got with Lavidia, and I already had the song written out, you know what I mean? And you know, just like every record that I ever did, you know what I mean, it's always a reflection of what I'm going through right then in my life. So you know, I wrote the song, and we did it, and then we ended up doing a video in LA. And if you look at that video, the video is basically a part two of Ghetto Thing, but it was just, you know what I mean, it was a beautiful thing, and it's one of my biggest songs. I got to perform it every time I perform, you know what I mean. But yeah, shout out to my cousin Vidi, and that was another, you know, just with every record that I do, you know what I mean, as a true MC, it's my job to show, you know what I mean, many sides of the human, you know what I mean, experience. You know what I mean? I believe that a person is not just one thing. You feel me? A person is many things. You feel me? Um, so I tried to reflect that in my music, you know what I mean? So with every record, you know, no matter how, you know, wild I'm going on the record, I'm always gonna have a song, you know what I mean, or a vibe on there to let you know what I mean, a positive vibe to let us know that, hey man, we gotta get right.
Right.
And that's about so I came with that, and it's like the video, man. We doing it where we like in heaven. You know what I mean? And it was the video. You know, making the video was a dope experience. You know what I mean? Being able to work with my older cousin Lavidi was dope. And yeah, man, it's one of my favorite songs. I actually just did it this weekend in Hunters Point. Man, I had did a Christmas program out there in Hunters Point. You feel me, in San Francisco, and I rocked that, and the crowd went crazy.
So
Yeah.
so and I know, like, we think about West Coast hip hop, and rest in peace to Nate Dogg. A lot of brothers, we give Nate Dogg this credit for bringing this singing, like the singing to hip hop, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think people know about Levity's contribution to the game. They don't know about Hot Ones Echo Through the Ghetto. They don't know he had a song on Sally Sales album called Hot Summer Day, where
Yeah.
I'm talking about, man, and Levity sounded like that dude in church. I was we were always waiting on Levity's solo album to come, and we never got it. So and then he just like I'm like, what happened to Levity? I always say, what happened to Levity, man? Because his
Yeah.
voice is so definitive on all of that stuff that everybody was doing, and then it's just like he was gone. So I'm like, man, we need that kind of voice back in hip hop.
I mean, it was politics at the time. You know what I mean? It's politics at the time. If you ever get, you know, Bila, if you ever get them on there, I want them to explain why he never came out with a record. But I know what's going on, but I'm not going, you know.
Right.
But it
I got you.
like it being politics in the game where he never got his proper shine, but we can never take away what he did for Bay Area hip hop and hip hop. He is to this day one of the strongest voice and the most recognizable voices in hip hop. If he sing, he come from the church, man.
You can tell.
40 grandfather is a minister or was a minister, rest in peace. And and he comes straight from the church. To this day, man, he'll walk in there. If you know, God forbid, we have a funeral in the family or something, or you know, in the community. Once Vidi walk up in there, man, go get the tissue, bro. because he finna break you down. You know what I mean? You might have been strong the whole funeral, but when he come up in there, get on that organ, man, he gonna take you to church. You know, this industry, man, you know, chew up and spit people out all the time. You know what I mean? Not saying it did that to him, but you know, the industry is a cold mistress, and you know, he through the politics, he kind of like backed off of it. You know what I mean? And you know, had trials and tribulations. I heard my cousin just came home. I'm still looking for him to do some new stuff with him, but you know, just like everybody else, everybody can't handle this industry, man. Some people get
Right.
a bad mouth and they back all the way out. You know what I mean? And that's similar to like what he did. But you know, just like you, I want to hear Viddy again, and I want to hear him some more. You know what I mean? And if I got anything to do with it, I'm gonna get him on some new stuff off top.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, and I can't overstate it. Like it would be songs where you could just tell where they would just they would let him go. Like he's gonna have a point in that song where he's going on that in a major way. He had this song Smoke and Drank. And at the
Mm-hmm.
end when he just and we used to just listen to the end of that song, like, man, that brother's going. So yeah, man, there's a lot of unsung heroes in hip hop from the 90s, from that era, that kind of fell victim to that. We had my sister from the Conscious Daughters on here as well. And she was,
Blessings,
she
man. Daughters, you know what I mean. Rest in peace, special one. You feel me?
yes.
Um, they knew me ever since I was 15, bruh. But yeah, you know, to say what you say, the one thing that has kept me in the music business even this long is because I come at it as you know, from a point of view of ownership. Now I own 50% or to 100% of every record that I have done to
Oh,
this.
okay.
Like, you know, when you know, and that's another thing that keeps me in it because this is my business. It's not like my most famous record somebody else owns. So I don't even want to perform the record because every time I do, I get a bad taste in my mouth. That's what happened to a lot of cats. So they fade off. But you know, with me, I'm blessed to this is my business. This is what keep the lights on. This will keep food in my family mouth. So when you support Mac Mall in any project, whether if it's the clothing line, if it's the book, you know what I mean, if it's the records right now, when you buy, from my first record to my last record, you are not supporting a corporation or just somebody you don't know. You are supporting me. You know what I mean? So that's why I appreciate it, and that's why I stay in the game. But like you're saying, man, a lot of cats, you know what I mean? It's just people call them one hit wonders, but it don't be one hit wonders. It'd be like they have a hit, they see a side of the music business or of the industry that they don't like, and they decide, hey man, let me get up out of this, or they get put on the shelf by a corporation, which I speaking of the relativity deal, you know what I mean. I had to me and relativity. I had to, back up from them, and I went to court with them for 2 years, where I couldn't make no music with other people, and I just had to, go through litigation with them. And they are $1 million company, and I'm just a cat, you know what I mean, with some bread that they gave me. You feel me? So they know that they gonna play the long game. We gonna keep this going, keep him going to court, and hopefully he will fall off. But I was able to weather the storm. I end up having one of the biggest songs in my career and dropping a record, Illegal Business 2000, and it had Wide Open on it. And from
Yeah.
there, that's when I, got my masters from the Relativity Cats, and I ended up getting masters from Kyrie, and I never looked back. I became ownership. I negotiated ownership of the albums that I put out before that, and I've been owning ever since. So I think that's one of the reasons I'm still in the game. But man, it'd be hard like that. You know what I mean? A lot of good
Yeah.
groups.
And, and,
You know,
and you a hater if you talking about somebody as a one hit wonder, because I'd rather be a one hit wonder if I'm doing music. I'd rather be a one hit wonder than a no hit wonder.
Did a
yeah,
no
And
hitter.
then right, so you a hater anyways. You just jealous, right?
ever been. You know what I mean? Straight up. You know what I mean? Real business. But like those who came at it like who from ownership, like E40, like me. You know what I mean? Like the rest in peace Max Dre's. I mean, Cats is still touring. Like we still on the road, still doing our thing. You had mentioned Sally Sale.
Man.
Sale was a op back in the day, like for real, for real. Like, you know what I mean? We done threw lead at each other, we done threw fists at each other. You feel me? But as grown men, you know what I mean? I some years back, you know what I mean, I had got a call from Sully Sale. You know, he got my number through the grapevine. And as a black man, you know what I mean? He you know, he mature, you know, so he called me and say, "Hey, brother, you know what I mean? You know, now we done been around each other before, you know what I mean? And you know, where it hasn't been violence or whatever, we, you know, we'd be out of state, and if we out of state together, we together.
Right.
Fail, like whatever we got, you know what I mean, we got, you know what I mean,
Right.
y'all just, we gonna stay over here, but we together, you know what I mean. So like I say, a couple years ago, he called me, got my number from somebody, called me, and he asked me like, man, hey man, you know, they got money for us in Denver, and in I think it was like Denver, Phoenix, and a couple other spots. And he was like, man, what's up, you want to go out on the road and get this dough? And at the time, of course, our, you know, we wasn't funking our sides. You know, we didn't went through our stuff when we was younger. But you know, I had to make a decision, and you know, just seeing how mature he was, and how he grew up, and how he was able to, in a sense, humble himself to even ask me. You feel me? I had to, you know what I mean. I had to do some growing up and mature, and I had to say, you know what? If this black man will call me and you know what I mean, and ask me, you know, and basically give me an opportunity to make some money, you know what I mean, I got to be mature enough too and be like, you know what, man, hell yeah, let's go do this, brother.
That's
And
right.
from that, and me and that dude been hitting the road, and you know, we both came a long way. there's um there's a warrior respect there.
Mm-hmm.
I know he ain't no punk, he know I ain't no punk, you know what I mean. So, you know, we ain't gonna be no testing, you feel me.
Right.
And it's, you know, we grew up in the game together, regardless we was from no one sides. We both are legends. You feel me? We both have opportunity to get this dough. The people who love my music love his music too. They don't separate it like that. You know what I mean? But we did. So yeah, man, I say, yeah, brother, let's get down. And man, we to this day do shows together, do dates. You know what I mean? Real business. But
Right.
And
Hey,
I go ahead,
so
go ahead, Kamar.
hey, you know, that's a message that we need to push too. You know what I'm saying? We see it all the time. I think I was just talking to somebody about that. Like, you know, like the brothers that we had ops with years ago, it's like we all cool now. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, so the message to push is like, look, y'all, this shit really ain't worth it. You know what I mean? Because if y'all make it, if you live to see a certain age, you niggas gonna love each other.
for real, because it's a mutual respect, man. Because it's like, yeah, we done survived, man. We done survived. You know what I mean, man? You know, hey, man, y'all wasn't no punks over there. Yeah, y'all wasn't no punks over there, man. Straight
Right.
up.
And Kamar,
I mean, it goes back into like the neighborhood. You know what I mean? How back in the day, man. You know what I mean? We a fight, and then you know the next day, man, I'm going to his mama house, ringing his doorbell. Come on, man, let's go. You know, play black man or baseball or whatever. You feel me? And like you say, we do need to push that message that, hey, man, it's not worth it, because honestly, if you live to get older, you're gonna have respect for each other. If you
Yeah.
go to street, especially out here in California, man, y'all gonna be together. Y'all gonna have to be waking up, watching each other's backs. You know what I mean? So why we gotta kill it? Why, if we go to the pen or if we get older, we cool, or we gonna
Right.
respect each other? Why we can't respect each other right now? You know what I mean? Straight
Right.
up.
and Kamar, Kamar ain't really giving it enough shine because, truth be told, Kamar and I are from different sides. Even though it was always mutual respect, we never funk like that. We never, but we
Yeah.
were from different sides, right? But it was always a mutual respect. And when it came to the podcast and shit, and it came down to it, when I seen Kamar trying to do his thing, and I was already doing it, it was instant for me to reach out to him and say, "Hey, bro, what you doing? Come on over here. This is what I got going." And we've been rocking now almost what 3.5, 4 years. So
Yeah.
it's a perfect example of totally different sides of the coin, but it was never, but it was always okay. I
Right.
respect over there, respect over
Right.
here.
Right.
Can work, that it can happen, man. We need to start working with each other now so we can save lives, you know what I mean, and create opportunities. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
Back to the King Vines and the Young Dolphs and the what you call it, like them brothers going through their little funks and stuff like that. But it's like, man, if them brothers live, man, they can help us. You
Yeah.
Right.
feel? Especially
Yeah.
when it's in city. Oh, that's my baby crying.
And not only that, they keep each other in the game too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, bro, you know what I mean? Really hurting yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, who's to say that when y'all was younger, y'all could have phoned, y'all would have never had this podcast or what y'all doing right now. But we
right.
need to really, show that and show this example of, you know what I mean, Outlaw Radio, that, hey, man, we need to be working together because it's powerful. You know what I mean? Y'all might have ingredients that I don't have, but if we come together, you know what I mean, man, we can make a wonderful meal. You feel me? But if not, you just got what you got, and I just got what I got. But that comes with time, and that comes with experience and maturing, and it's really up to us to push that narrative, man. You know what I mean? But like me, like yesterday, I had to pop up, and we had Tay Tay out there from 11.5. I had San Quinn out there, and I gave a youngster from my neighborhood, my little nephew, I gave him his first opportunity to rock a show because he's changing his he want to change his life. He was some consider a hothead out there. He had name out there, a boy out there in the what you call it. You know what I mean, a hot boy. And I'm not with that. You know what I mean? So, I don't let him be around me on that shit. But if he want to change his life, I'm with that. I don't think that, a lot of OGs or I don't even want to call them OGs, older people and not elders in our communities now, they use the youth like they're disposable.
Yeah,
You feel?
yeah.
That's why grown ass man will be talking about how he got young shooters. Yeah, I got my little nigga come tear this up. Like, man, you sound stupid. You feel
Stupid as a
me?
motherfucker, man.
You using this young dude who you supposed to be helping, who as an elder you supposed to protect them. You're supposed to protect them. Your job is to protect them because they are the future. Our job is not to put them on front line. You know what I mean? They not even built for that. They don't got they don't got the knowledge and everything that we got and the game that we got. But instead of giving them the game, we gonna give him a gun and put him in a situation that he, you know what I mean, don't even have the brain power to even think about. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And
Youngster,
shout out, shout out,
I,
shout out to everybody who's listening. I see people in the chat room. My homie Wayne Richards, who I went to college with, he's from the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and he can tell you when I showed up in North Dakota, because we were in North Dakota together. When I
wow.
showed up in North Dakota, I had a box of cassettes, and most of it was West Coast music. And at that time, they wasn't really up on the West Coast, So a
Yeah,
lot of the times I'd be playing shit, including your music, and they'd be like, "Who is it?" And I used to just be running it down. So shout out to Wayne Richards.
yeah.
He said you're a smart-minded brother, and he wanted to send you much respect.
Respect, man, respect. But yeah, man, we just got to push that line, man, and we got to really each one teach one, man, and care about the youth, man. It's just not using them. That's like even now, in hip hop and in music, you know what I mean. I try not to be, you know what I mean, a old grumpy man and talk about music in my day. You know what I mean. If anything, I try to find the common ground. I try to understand like what's going on. Even though I might not play it all the time, I still want to understand because it is hip hop and it is like where we at with it. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, I
Yeah,
want to ask you this because you appeared on something else that's super, super classic as well that people overlook. Friend or Foe
yeah,
with A Ball and MJG, Big Mike. Now, now this right here, first of all, Big Mike gave a verse on there, and when he was on here, we talked. It's ridiculous. MJG on that song. If I'm in that studio and I'm about to rap and I hear MJ's verse, I'm leaving. I'm going home. I'm not. I'm gonna say, you know what?
Man,
You
listen.
cheating, right?
Hey, I drop everything I'm doing right there when that joint come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I drop everything I'm doing. I gotta go with it, man.
yeah.
How you get on Friend or Foe?
Basically, I had met Tony Draper when I was getting my deal with Tony Draper is the owner of the late
Suave.
Schwab House, excuse me, respectfully. And I had met Tony Draper when I was getting my deal with Relativity. He was out there too. And Tony Draper was the first young black millionaire that I actually met. You know what I mean? And he took me to Houston, and that's when I, got my relationship with A Ball and MJG. During this time, he had called us to come to Houston, and he had 40 out there, and he had I don't Big Mike wasn't in the studio with us, but we had me and E40 and Sugar T and everybody come to Houston. And it was one of them things, man. They took us to the studio. First he took us to Palms and stuff, and I remember us eating 10-pound lobsters. Now, like he bought all of us 10-pound lobsters. Shit was crazy. So, 40 had mixed up some hurricanes. You know what I mean? And we got in the studio, and it goes back to like I was saying, man. When you put, great players become great players because they make great plays. You feel me? So I always thought that I was good. And I want to test myself by the best. E40, my big cousin, you know what I mean? I've been a fan of his music, a secret fan I had to be. Big Mike, one of my favorite records, one of my favorite MCs, and A Ball and MJG, you know what I mean? They just, they doing a thing. I was a big fan of them too. So I just wanted to be great with them. I was blessed to be able to get on the track, and I just did a show with MCA, and Big Mike, and you know what I mean. We was just chopping it up on how, you know what I mean, how that song like changed our life. You know what I mean, because it's looked at as a classic, and
Man, that is a classic.
yeah, and a dope posse cut. So you know what I mean. I definitely respect that. Shout out to A Ball and MJG, man, and everybody
Hey,
from yeah.
hey, that's one of them joints when you was in the car with your niggas, everybody had a verse.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Everybody had a verse in the car.
Hey, one of my old football players who I coached in high school, Daquan Corneal, he's in the chat room. He's a young buck, but it's one of my youngsters who I coach. He said, well, he don't know about A Ball and MJG is for his time, but he's like, I think my mom would know better. Ask your mom about it. Hey,
Yeah.
ask your mom about it.
Hey, but yeah, man, A Ball and MJG, bruh, is like some of the heroes of the South. You know what I mean? No, you know what I mean. That those are like some of your favorite rappers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Anybody from the South that you like, will give A Ball and MJG Alibabas. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Cool as fuck.
You can't like Pooh Shiesty if you don't know nothing about A Ball and MJG, bruh.
If you talking about Memphis, if you're gonna talk about Memphis, period, and you A Ball and MJ, come on, man,
They
stop it.
probably was the coolest. They probably was the coolest rap group ever.
It's
Yeah,
like talking about Houston without acknowledging Face or the Ghetto Boys.
being cool individuals. I know that from my time spending around them, I never heard MJG use his outside voice. You know what I mean? That man always cool, always chill. To me, they was like big brothers. You know what I mean? They took me in and just laid it out for me all through Houston, as long along with Tila, along with South Circle, Mr.
Oh, Mr. Mike Devin, come on, man. Oh my goodness.
You got a charger? I think my phone. Yeah, but yeah, man, it was just what I mean. We all come up in this fraternity of hip hop. You know what I mean, and especially us cats who came from the independent world. You know what I mean. We stuck together. Hip hop was a smaller community back then. You would think that social media would make you closer because you have more ways to connect. But when we all had to hit the road together and we all had to shake a hand, meet a friend, it brought us together. And even to this day, I feel like I'm a part of the fraternity of hip hop. So when these young brothers die, like I feel that. You know what I mean? I feel that it ain't just a story that I see on TV. It's man, it's one of our brothers that fallen, and that's why
Right.
definitely feel it. It ain't just a story on TV. It's real shit.
Well, that's what my sister from the Conscious Daughters was saying, that you all in the Bay Area have like this kinship and you
Mhm.
all have genuine love for each other. So if it's something going down, everybody shows up, everybody grooves to everybody's
And
music.
that's how
It's a movement.
that was the blueprint. That was the blueprint that they laid out. You know what I'm saying? And I remember back then when we used to rap and all that, and that was the message we used to try to push because we seen the blueprint, but people
Yeah.
didn't kick it like that. Everybody didn't want to rock. It was more competition. You know what I'm saying? We was still a conditioned thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it can definitely be. We all are. You know what I mean. We all are MCs, and we are in hip hop. Hip hop is a competitive sport. You feel me? But it's just like it got to be a respect up out of there
Definitely.
because we all trying to get it. We all trying to get in the same pot. You know what I
Keep
mean?
each other on.
Can't help each other. But I don't got you, my God. We just got to get together. But it got to be less of that. Them niggas over there attitude. You know what I mean? Because man, we all together in this. But in the Bay Area, it's like that too. Because like I say, man, we didn't have the industry. You know what I mean? So it's like we all had to. You know what I mean? We had to coexist. You know what I mean? I'm going to be seeing you at the distribution office. I'm going to be seeing you at the club. You know, doing the show. I'm going to be seeing you at the at the manufacturer. You feel me? So it's like we all one and the same. But those are all my big sisters and brothers. Like man, the conscious daughters. You know what I mean? I got my first DJ. You know what I mean from their group and stuff. You feel me? And they was like big sisters. You feel me?
So now does the Crest Side and the Hillside still beef, or is that kind of put aside?
Uh, you know what I mean? It's crazy because it's like the older cats, you know what I mean? It's that respect thing that's there. But now in Vallejo, you know what I mean? The city is it's so wild that, you know what I mean? Now it's just like the whole Vallejo is just, killing each other. You know what I mean? It's no longer like really funk with the hillside and the
It's
south side.
identical. That's like here.
Funk with the south and and downtown might be funking with you know what I mean it's all crazy you know what I mean with drugs came in the game and cats getting high and it kind of it's hard to explain man but it's like the
Turn into a anybody can get it type of
yeah
situation.
get it you know what I mean in her funk so it's like it ain't like that no more it's just as a whole we kind of fucked up you know what I mean
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just broke the homicide record 2 years in a row here. So I know exactly what you said. Now, I know you were cool with Mac Dre. I know he influenced you when he
that's
came.
hey, we was more than cool. That's my Cuddy. That's my
Okay,
namesake. I mean, I'm the third generation Mac. It was the Mac, Michael Robinson, who came with the game stick. It was Mac Dre, and that's where I got my name, Mac Mar. So we were definitely more than cool. That's my Cuddy. You know what I mean?
right.
My Cuddy, um, big brother, man. Just that's my namesake. So yeah,
So when he came home from the joint, he seen how you was moving. Was he proud, or was you just like, "Come on, now I
nah,
got this going, let's go"?
he was very, very proud. You know what I mean? He felt, you know what I mean, that, he felt, thankful that, you know what I mean, I kept his name alive and kept our movement alive. Um, and it was just, man, he got right back to it. You know what I mean? One thing, even though he spent, you know what I mean, like what, 4.5, 5 years in the federal pen for a crime that he didn't, you know what I mean, even do. Um, he came back and he wanted to get back in, and that's when he kind of came with that, the Thea's vibe and just the multicultural, the Mr. Burley, just the alter egos and everything that will become hyphy. You know what I mean? He had that coming home from jail, and we just got right back to it straight up. That's when we came out with the Rompilations, and he came out with Miss Stupid Doodle Dumb, and it basically was becoming what would later become hyphy. You feel me?
Right.
And I was actually there in Kansas City. You know what I mean? When he was murdered, I was there. You feel me? I actually damn near rode him his last blunt. Um, and from his death, that's when we made when we came back from Kansas City, that's when I was doing my thing in Vegas and all of the type of stuff. But once he we came back once we came back from Kansas City, you know what I mean, that's when we started Thea's Nation, and that's what birthed the hyphy movement and just everything to come with that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, another tragic situation. And I felt like at that time, because when Tupac got murdered, the West Coast kind of lost a little steam. And he was when Mac Dre came, the way everybody was rocking with him, it was the West Coast was coming back, and then boom, this happens, and it's like, damn, again. So yeah, it's a tragic loss for him. That was so tragic.
But from his death, though, that's when we made Thea's Nation, and that was the biggest thing. That's when not saying because of him. I mean, not because of his death, but his death was the rallying flag. We all felt hurt. So Mac Dre was the flag and the banner that we all got under. You know what I mean? And that's what made Thea's Nation, and that's what became Hyphy and Birth a whole generation of stars like the Filthy Fit, like the Mr. Fabs and the Filthy Riches and the Jay Stallings and you know what I mean? These is all Thea's babies, you know what I mean, who came up in our ranks and stuff like that. And they took the ball and ran with it. And that's, and even to the SOBs, SOB RBEs, you know what I mean? They are Thea's babies, literally, you know what I mean? Slimmy B, is a Crest baby. You feel me? The boy and them and all them cats. You know what I mean? So, um, I mean, from that tragedy, you know what I mean. We was able to triumph. You feel me?
And you know what? You just said that name and it resonated to me because one thing I was on a couple years back was the Soul Crest Challenge. I thought the Soul Crest Challenge was super dope, and I thought everybody was gonna get in and do their city. But the man that Jay Diggs, and you had a brother on there by the name of Chance who was coming from the gospel perspective.
Yeah, Chauncey is my little Cuddy, man. That's my young Cuddy. Um, that was actually Doobie Sugar Wolf Pimp. He came with that and said, "Let's do it." You know what I mean? Me, at the time, honestly, you know what I mean. I'll be on in my own world. I'm not no challenge type of dude. You feel
Right.
me? Matter if too many people doing it, I don't want to do it anyway. You know what I mean? So, but Doobie thought it'd be a dope way to because we actually Doobie is from my crew, Five Trey Five, Sesame Street. We got a record that we finna drop, a joint record. So he said, as we in the studio doing the thing, let's do this Brooklyn challenge. That's what it was. We made it the so Crest challenge, and all the MCs from the Boss Hogs to the Jay Diggs to me to Doobie to Chauncey. Chauncey was a rapper, what I mean, who got religion, and he wanted to bring his piece to it. So it's basically like a mosaic of all the MCs, you know what I mean, from my neighborhood. It definitely was a dope vibe, you feel me? And people
It was
really
dope.
enjoyed it, you know what I mean? And it set up a lot of stuff that we got coming, pretty soon. Yeah.
It was dope, and Jay Diggs verse was I was like, wow, because he ran the whole situation. I thought Jay Diggs verse was, and I'm Jay Diggs. I'm familiar with him through you all's music and Thiz or whatever. But I on there, I was like, whoa, that brother snapped. It was
Yeah,
dope, man.
Jay Diggs. The cold part about it is we both have two of the biggest families in our neighborhood. You know what I mean? Our mothers, you know what I mean. They grew up damn near like sisters. His name is Jamal. My name is Jamal. His mother and my mother birthday on the same day. Our families are tight. You know what I mean? Super tight to this day. Uh, I grew up, around Diggs as being 11 and 12. You know what I mean? Because he was actually rapping first. You know what I mean? He was called what Jay something and the Side Steppers. You know what I mean? Jamal Diggs and Side Steppers or whatever. He had a group, but he was in the streets. He had went down for bank robbery for 10 years. In the robber room. Came home and got to it. You know what I mean? And now, like you say, the boy one of our hottest right now. But to me, he always like my big Cuddy. You know what I mean? I used to be the little dude. Used to hop in his car and I remember Diggs took me to Reno when I was like damn near 14 and had me in the casinos and stuff like that. We go back like that. Um, but yeah, man, he a romper room cat, came back when he got out of the pen and got right back in it, you know what I mean? And but he was doing his thing, but he's also a street dude, so you know what I mean? He did a lot of time behind the wall. You feel me?
Right, right. Now it's a dope look, man. So okay, so as we wrap up, we got to get you where we get we bring our classic hip hop cats on here. I do want to say the language and the slang. Like 40 gets a lot of credit, but I've heard you use a lot of that Bay Area slang which tonight when you talk about Cuddy and E40 you say sci hops and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. Y'all brought a whole unique thing with the language. So talk about that influence because a lot of people use words now that y'all pioneered that they
Yeah.
don't even know where it came from.
Nah, right now I gotta give a lot of I gotta get a lot of love and respect to Uncle Miami the most. You know what I mean? He's one of the originators of words that everybody use, nephew, and you know what I mean, and hello, and just all the stuff. I think the way that we talk is you know what I mean. The way that we talk is basically comes from, like I say, man, the funk and the blackness and the hey, out here in the Bay, we'll say hey blood, what's up with cuz, you know what I mean, all that stuff, you know what I mean, because we say blood from the sense of hey young blood, you know what I
Right.
mean, like hey young blood and stuff like
Right.
that. So the yeah, man, the language reflects the the music and us just kind of being on our own page, you know what I mean? But it has a lot to do with us. We have the Black Panther culture out here, but we also got the pimp culture. And those cultures, they went hand in hand, you know what I mean? And that's we just always try to be sharp, you know what I mean? That's what we want to be. Not sharp, we want to be sharp. You feel me? So, this is down south flavor, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? Milwaukee up on game. Y'all got a lot of players out there. We got that player mentality out here too. So, we always want to be slick with our spit. You feel me?
Yeah, that's what I say. Milwaukee is like, like a small city on the lake. It's kind of the
Yeah.
same kind of vibe where there's a lot of hustling, and Milwaukee was known by the feds as, the pimping headquarters for a minute since they've not been
Yeah.
infiltrated. But so we know Pimpin' Ken is from here and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's always been a
Yeah.
lot of slick talking players from Milwaukee. That's a
Yeah.
fact. So
I mean, because your mouthpiece, man, that reflect everything. You know what I mean? That reflect your sharpness. I might not have diamonds on, but I got a diamond tongue. You know what I mean? Those, you know what I mean, how dope you is, you know what I mean, for real, for real. So with us, we want the whole package. Not only do we want to be fly, but we want to be smart, we want to be intelligent. And the way that you speak and the way that you come at stuff really really shows what it's about. You know what I mean? You could be a sucker in a $3,000 suit, you know what I mean? Or you could be a cat who look like a bum, but if you spitting that ism, you know what I mean, man, you're gonna be the sharper dude, you know what I mean?
Right.
For real.
yeah, that's that E40 song when he say, I don't need no iron, I'm already creased.
Yes, sir.
I don't what do you say? I don't need no money, I got mouthpiece, right? Yeah. So yeah.
You can have money and you know what I mean, and I can have no money, but if I got mouthpiece, I can get that money that you got.
Right.
Right.
So
Hey, I got another one. Let me throw one in there too, right? Let me throw one in there too. A smart nigga can play dumb, but a dumb nigga can't play smart.
Hello.
Yeah, man, it's a bunch of them, man. I talk about all the time the beautiful language that Black people have, a language that can't nobody even from every region is something. We just got done laughing about all of the old sayings my parents from Mississippi they used to say to me. We was just laughing about this on the show a couple weeks ago. And
Yeah.
my mother with her old, rude little pig or die po for show, every man for himself, God for us all, and all that kind of stuff. So, but okay, so I got you on here. We got to do our top 5 dead or alive when we have classic artists. I got to get your top 5 dead or I know a lot of brothers say I don't like to do it, but just for shits and giggles, top 5 dead or alive MCs. We start with that.
Ooh, top 5 dead or alive. You know what I mean? I don't want to be biased and just say like the Mac, what's called it, but for me it's that. But just MCs all over. Okay, I'm gonna say Mac Dre. I'm gonna say Scarface.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Rakim.
Okay.
I'm gonna say I say Mac Dre.
Scarface, Rakim.
Scarface, Rakim, Chuck D.
Okay.
And Big Daddy Kane.
Okay, because I'm always start with Pac and go to Face, Rakim.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's hard because I have respect for MCs like all over. So it's hard for me just to break down the 5, but I would say like the 5 in my life.
Right, no
Oh
doubt.
my God, I didn't say Too Short.
Okay.
I didn't say Too Short. So Short got to be up there. Got to be up there too because they just meant. They meant so much for those in my life. So that's my little list right there.
Oh man, I listen. I done set barbershops off with this because you can't really do 5.
Nah.
Because every time you do 5, you start throwing somebody else in there like, oh man, I didn't say.
Yeah. But it was definitely important, moments and stuff like that. Like Ice-T.
Right.
He was very, very important in my life.
My top 5 changed.
Yeah, it does. It does.
My top 5 is interchangeable.
Well, we ain't got KRS-One. We didn't say a lot of people's, but it's all good.
KRS-One was so important to me. You know what I mean? And shit, even Biggie. You know what I mean? Biggie was dope.
Yeah, you could throw Jay-Z if you want to.
Yeah, for real.
Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z especially. Top 5 dead or alive group.
Groups: Public Enemy, NWA. Shit. Public Enemy, NWA. Damn. I want to say 415. You feel me?
Okay.
415, Richie Rich and them. Who you want to say? I want to say what was that? The Juice Crew. You know what I
Juice
mean?
Crew.
Juice Crew, native tongue.
Yeah, we had MC Shan on here. Shout out to MC Shan. Shan is a wild boy. Um, I gotta say UGK. I gotta say Ghetto Boy. I have to do A Ball and MJG. I got to do Outkast.
Yeah,
I got to do it quick.
to hear me. It's hard for me to hear you. I don't know if it's coming from my side or better. What did you say?
You got static.
Oh yeah, we got. I think his connection is bad.
Yeah.
Did we get it straight?
What was you asking?
I was giving my top
Okay.
5 groups. So I don't know what's up with the sound. The sound is going a little bad on us at the end. Somebody device got to get turned down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of it's a little hard.
So yeah, man. Last
There we
thing.
go.
Last thing.
Okay.
We lost him. So we lost him, but it's all good, man. If he can come back, he can come back. I hope y'all share the show. We want to shout out Mac Mall for coming in, man. I know he's busy. I know the brother was tired, like he said, they're on the road all the time. Kamar, shout out to you and Nature's Nature Herbs and Supplements, man. Shout out to you for just being down with the show. Like he said, the lesson that we talked about tonight is just, the understanding you have as a young man. If you live long enough, you get a better understanding, right? It's like when they say, if you knew better, you do better. So I can say, like I said before, you and I never had a problem, but it's just an example of two dudes from different sides who can say, hey, man, it is what it is. Shake hands, slap 5, and keep it pushing, man. So shout out to you, man. What you got coming this weekend? I think we're going to bring Mac Mall back in. Let's see if we can bring him back.
And I can hear y'all. I can hear y'all good, too. So what was you asking me, brother?
Okay, so I wanted to get your producer-wise top 5 dead or alive. Now that's a difficult one unless you really know the game.
I ain't do none of my other two.
Oh, we gonna give them to you. I'm gonna let you do it, Kamar. I'm gonna let you do it. You know I ain't gonna do that to
you. Producer-wise, okay, shit. I want to say, damn. Of course, Dr. Dre.
Okay.
The Bomb Squad in New York. You know what I mean? The dudes used to do Public Enemy them records.
Yeah.
Man. Marley Marl. Damn. Kyrie. You feel me?
Okay. Kyrie.
And Ann Banks.
Thank you. I got Quick. I got Banks. I got Smoke One Productions from A Ball and MJG, Studio Tone, Mike Mosley, and I got to give it up to them Rap A Lot boys. I want to say John Beto. I got to say John Beto. Kamar.
Yeah.
We missed you with your Kamar. Give us your list. My bad, brother.
All right, my top 5 rappers. I got Rakim, Pop. Hey, and like I said, mine is interchangeable. I just heard this joint, man, from Mount Rushmore with Cube now.
Oh, yes.
Paint and Chrome or something like that. Oh my God.
Big subwoofer.
That one too. That's another one. But Cube, they got another one, Paint and Chrome.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. Man, Cube got this joint on there, man. I gotta throw him back in my top 5. You know, oh my God, that joint's sick. KRS and Face.
What you got with the groups?
Public Enemy, Outkast, NWA, 8 Ball, and the St. Lunatics.
Okay. No UGK, but that's all right. I ain't mad at you.
See what I'm saying? How it's interchangeable.
For real.
Love UGK, man. You know. Okay, then for the producers, I got Dre, Timbo. I got our man Godzilla from Milwaukee, Banks and Quick.
No doubt. Everybody's list is different, and you got to respect it because, like my man said, if you a hip hop, you're not just a fan of one region. I got my favorite New York cats. I got my favorite West Coast cats. I got my favorite Midwest cats that I can bring because I didn't put Breed in there, but I love rest in peace to MC Breed. Top Authority, the Dayton family. Like I'm that deep with this stuff, with this rap stuff. So
shout out to the Dayton family, man, for real. You know,
no doubt.
Man. You know, but you know, it's not. You know, we grew up in a time and when the music was new and was blossoming, it wasn't like it is now. You know what I mean? So we loved all the music. We listened to all the music. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Just the whole process of going to a record store, you know what I mean? I know a lot of you youngsters don't know what that is, but to go to a warehouse and to, cut school early because the record was coming out, to actually
Yeah.
wait to get the record, to get the CD or whatever, and to open it and to look at it and to read the credits and to, you knew who the producer was because you was reading the credits. You wanted to see the thank yous because you wanted to
Yep.
see rapper was linking with and who he was cool with and stuff like that. This was before everybody featured on everybody record. You know what I mean? The first feature that I really know about that I took heed to was Ice Cube and Too Short. Ain't nothing but a word to say. I mean,
Yeah.
ain't a
Ooh.
bitch to me, whatever. So that song, was the first time that I really saw cats starting to get really down and rock with each other. Of course, I got to mention the Burn Hollywood Burn. You know what I mean? That
Symphony.
was a big, collab that was dope and that showed, you know what I mean? Hip hop can, open up and get together. But we come from that. Now it's just like even though there's more ways for people to hook up and get down with each other, it seemed like, it's not organic as it was, and it's more,
Right.
numbers driven. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
where a cat I might not even know you, but if you're hot, I want to be hot, so I'm going to get with you, and we're going to do a feature, even though we probably even never, smoked a joint together. You feel me?
Right. Well, the
Mm.
symphony. The symphony is one of the first
Oh,
collabs. So yeah, no doubt. Now, my brother,
man,
you
salute.
got tell us about this NFT thing and tell people how to get your book because I want people to know what
Oh,
you're up to now.
yeah, I mean, of course, right now, we still on the road. I'm blessed to be in this game for many, many moons and to still be, booked, every month. I mean, right now we still in the February about, the shows that we have to do. So I'm blessed with that. But we also, I'm doing a collab with a clothing line, Dirty Dollar Clothing, www.dirtydollar.com. We got a lot of Mac Mall merch on there. I also have a line called the definition line where I can have like I give you the definition of Cuddy and Mac and stuff like that. That's one of our biggest sellers. So I'm doing the clothing thing with Dirty Dollar with Dirty Dollar. My book, I mean, I'm a self-published author. I wrote my first book. It's called My Opinion, Mac Mall, My Opinion, and it's available on Amazon. I mean, I'm very proud of that. But right now, what I mean, we in a new space, and I had December 14th, I have dropped the NFT. What I mean, shout out to my business partner. What I mean, a cat that I got with with a company I got with, say Blau, and we are presenting the Mac Mall, My Opinion NFT. There's 8 original pieces on there, and not only do you get the animated artwork that you own as an NFT, you also get, a piece of a classic Mackmore song, and I also, from my digital book, I give you a deeper view of the chapter that you might read by because I have interviews on there. So it's a real cool thing. You know what I mean? We are. The world is changing so fast. I believe that the world will change in the next 10 years more than it did in the last 100 years. You know, whether you know it or not, they are building a new world with this metaverse or whatever like that, and the Bitcoin and all this digital stuff, the digital property and the digital everything. We are transitioning into that. Me, I always in the beginning started off being kind of slow on the technology and the social networks and stuff like this. When I learned about NFT, and because it started off with art and me being an artist, I was able to, to really, see it first, and I had the opportunity to get with Say Blau, and we came with the Magmar NFTs, and I just wanted to be ahead of the curve this time instead of in the back, and they've been doing real good, and it's basically us, giving our fans just more access to us, a direct line to us. You know what I mean? Not only can you support me from afar, but in the digital world, you can, I mean, you can invest in me basically because that's what an NFT is. The NFT is an investment, something that you own in this digital world that you can sell in this digital world. You feel me?
Right, man. I'm gonna go on Amazon tonight and buy that book. By the way, I believe that's gonna be a great read. Um,
And everybody out there, as far as what I mean, brothers and sisters who get up on that Bitcoin and the metaverse that's coming, and these NFTs and stuff like that, because this is, you know what I mean, this is the new world that we coming in, you know what I mean, and this is the new currency, and this is the, you know what I mean, how things are going to be looked at. Don't be intimidated by it and just be like, man, I don't know nothing about that, so I ain't rocking with it. Learn about it, because it's very simple, and it's basically, man, the new frontier, you know what I mean.
All right, my brother. I can't say enough. Thank you a million times for coming on.
Res-
Kumar, you got something you want to say to this brother?
Hey man, peace, peace. I appreciate it, man. It was all our pleasure, man, to have you. You know, both of us, me and Kev, we both big fans. You know what I mean? Like you said, that
Fact.
whole era was like the soundtrack of us coming up. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm just pleased to see another one of us come on the show. You know what I mean? And can show what a man is, a black
Yeah,
man in the community. You know what I mean? Yeah, we did all the shit. We rocked all the shit we did, but you know what I mean? Look at how we look at life now. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? And it's something for everybody else to grow on. So I'm appreciative of this whole experience, man.
man,
My
respect.
pleasure. Thank you.
Y'all, thanks for having me, man. You know what I mean? This has been a dope interview. You feel me? And like for the rest of the day, I'm gonna be thinking about my top five now and shit like that, and put my list around. But I definitely appreciate the opportunity. For everybody watching, man. If you want to get at me on the social networks, whatever. My Instagram and my Twitter is the real Mac Mall. My Facebook is Mac Mall Music, man. You know, like I say, support the clothing line with Dirty Dollar clothing. Support the book. Go to Amazon, My Opinion, Mac Mall, and go to Say Blau, www.sayblau, and you know, check out that NFT, man. So you know, follow me on Instagram if you want to see anywhere I'm going to be in the United States, because we still pushing the hard line. You know what I mean? Keeping it cracking. And I want to say again, fellas, I appreciate the opportunity, man. Thank you.
No doubt, man. The pleasure's all ours. And I think the message here is, you know, you may have done some of the things they said you did, but you're not who they say you are. It's important that we understand that as you grow, you learn. And as you learn, you grow. And it's in that order. And when it comes to hip hop is the first internet, because hip hop was the first cultural movement that brought us all together. So I didn't know what Vallejo was. I didn't know what life was like in Oakland. I didn't know what South Central LA was like until hip hop connected us as a people. So right now we see a lot of youngsters who want to dismiss the older rappers, the OG rappers, the pioneers. But without these brothers, it wouldn't be no y'all. So you can brag and boast about what you do all you want and try to dismiss these brothers, but there's no way you happen unless it's for them. We'll be back Wednesday night. It's the holiday weekend, man. We're normally socio-political, but I'm the hip hop snob. I'm gonna talk about some old school hip hop. I'm gonna talk about some, I wouldn't even call it old school, I call it classic, the golden era of hip hop. This show will be shared a million times. Hit my brother up, support his movement, buy his book, get you some Nature's Nature herbs and supplements, man. You got to be aware you can't be no square. You have to understand either you are with us or you are against us. And in the words of Willie D, if your criticism of the black community outweighs your contribution, you probably a coon. I'll see y'all Wednesday night, man.
Hey, much
Peace.
love. Peace.